Welcome to the Midnight Express podcast. This podcast is to capture the artistic voices here in Cleveland, across the city. We hope in the long run to interview each and every single artist here. My name's David Biro. I am one of the co-founders here at Midnight Art Club, and I'm here with my other co-founders.
I'm Lola.
I'm Kerry.
And I'm Amir.
And we're Midnight Art Club.
And we are Midnight Art Club, and welcome to the Midnight Express podcast.
So I have a question. What is Midnight Art Club?
So I think, Midnight Art Club, we are new arts and culture community here in Cleveland. We're a new group dedicated to creating large-scale art experiences that is then programmed with performance art and theater performances. Here to demonstrate Cleveland's artistic talent. We're here to uplift our community, and we're here to grow our city.
There's a lot of talent in Cleveland, like so much art. And so I think really what we're trying to do is just bring all of that amazing art together to create an experience for people and to really get like a little, more than a taster of the art that's happening here. It's just like a beautiful collaboration when you talk about activating or making programming.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about large scale art in general, we create these large scale temporary spaces, these large scale structures. We attend a Burning Man event, LoveBurn, down in Miami, Florida. That's how we all got together. And some of us, I knew Amir from childhood, essentially since college, since we were 18.
Freshman
and
year
then,
college.
but to be able to come together, create these large-scale temporary structures, and then to be able to collaborate and bring people in and program it is something quite special.
Yeah, I mean, if you are listening to this podcast right now, you may never have heard of us, Midnight Art Club. We're a relatively new group here in Cleveland. But man, we've been on a journey so far. It's been 2 years now. It's going on 3 years now that we have been an established group. So maybe you have heard of us already by now. If you haven't been to one of our events, you're going to want to come. They're amazing. But I feel like just to kind of help you get to know us a little bit better, I think we should just kind of tell the story about how we kind of wound up there.
We're going to hear from Amir. Let's hear it from Amir.
Here's the thing. Like as Dave said, I've known Dave since 18. 2000, I graduated high school, went on to Cleveland State University, met Dave in the dorms, blah, 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 blah. But he was building large-scale artwork in his parking lot for his family business, and I happened to just drive by and I'm like, oh, there's my friend Dave. The hell is he doing? We talked for about a couple hours. He said, come to this. His Maya was what we were working on at the time. Yeah. He's like, I want to go set it up. I forget the park's name.
Kirtland Park. Goodrich Kirtland.
So we go down there and we meet this lovely group of people who happen to be the production committee or founders of LoveBurn. So they made it very interesting. So fast forward to actually being invited by Dave and being like, yeah, I'm going to come. Find out it's an actual camping trip. And I'm like, that wasn't discussed. But, I was still for it. Fast forward even further to actually arriving in Miami, Florida. He's like, you don't need to get an Uber. I got 2 friends that are going to be there. You guys all ride together, Kerry and Lola. And I'm thinking, originally, I thought it was 2 girls. So I'm like, okay.
Hey.
Cool. I'm about to ride through Miami with these, 2 beautiful women probably. I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, where's Kerry? Who's Kerry? So
that's not out of the norm, actually.
Well, it was not, but for me, it was just where my mind was.
This is so funny to hear this perspective.
The craziest story that I have from meeting you two was you losing your ID. It was. I had never even fathomed like She was like, I lost my ID, but I'm going to stay positive about it. I left it in the rental car. I'm like, oh, that's gone. There's no way you're going to get that ID back. She's like, no, stay positive. I'll be right back. Left for about, what, 45 minutes or
45
so?
minutes at least.
Hold on, can I just
Did
say
she lose her jacket?
this was 2021. This isn't like
True.
before social media, or okay, 2022. This isn't before social media. We could have all looked each other up.
True.
But none of
None
us
of us
did
did.
that. I love
Nobody
that.
did.
It's like a reality
It's like, okay,
show.
shit.
Like,
If I'm gonna meet
four
somebody, I'm gonna meet
strangers
somebody,
are
you know?
dropped in Miami. We'll see what happens.
But the thing for me that I remember the most was you finding your ID, like in a crowded airport, hundreds of thousands of rental cars that it could have. It was just insane to me, and and just for perspective, it like she didn't lose it that day. You lost it the day before, correct? When y'all took the car back,
Man.
and it was
Oh
still
my
there.
gosh. It was something like that. I completely forgot about that
But
part
that
of
was
the story.
and then the Colombian coffee afterwards. That was
Oh yeah. The Cuban coffee.
Cuban coffee, correct, Cuban coffee.
If you need a little pep in your step. Cuban coffee.
I remember when I first saw Amir, when I first saw you, I was, and still to this day, I'll think back to it and wonder, he was wearing a Beavis and Butthead shirt.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? Like, is it like a memento or?
I just grew up. My brothers and I were, we watched a lot of TV, and Beavis and Butthead happened to be one of our favorite shows growing up. And that's funny because I still have that shirt. I actually gave it to someone, but I had a shirt, a hoodie, and I think like some socks that I had brought with me that all had Beavis and Butthead on it. So that's funny that you remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit further when I actually met Dave, which would have been in 2020. You had just come back, I think the year prior.
Yeah, I was in Burning Man in 2019.
Yep. And I was with Kerry at Edgewater, a park in Cleveland that we would frequent often. So it was just another day. We were doing some acro yoga, and we ran into Dave and just had like a little, I don't even remember exactly how I think he was just like, what are you guys doing? I saw some of that at Burning Man, and I'm like, ooh, Burning Man? Like, I've been trying to go to Burning Man for a long time and was very unsuccessful with that. So that was the first time I had met Dave. It was just like a pretty brief interaction, but it's kind of one of those things like when you see a word, then you start to see that word everywhere. It kind of felt like that with Dave. Like I started to see like Dave just around town a little more. He was showing up in my my Facebook feed. I was starting to see some of the art that you were doing, and in the neighborhood, I would drive past some of these amazing like temple-like structures that you were building, and I was just like, what is this guy's deal? Like, what is he doing? This is pretty cool,
Right.
but interesting. That's all I could really say. And we were just so busy, like I never really got a chance to go and check out the art, but Dave was kind of like, you guys should do like a little flow party or something like out front. Like, how come you guys never show up? And I'm just like, man, like, why don't we ever show up? Like, oh yeah, because we're just trying to do 10 million things. So fast forward to that, the reason why I kind of wound up on the trip to begin with was because I had just been like, I need to get to Burning Man one way or another, waiting in line, like on the computer. It's really hard to get tickets, just like to the general public, but kind of like once you know someone, it's a little easier to get in. So I saw one of Dave's posts. He was making this amazing art, and I'm like, Dave, you're going to Miami for LoveBurn? Need somebody to help with that project? If somebody drops off your team, I'm your girl. I got you. Like seconds later, he's like, someone dropped off the team. Like, can you come? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So like 10 days, we're ready to roll. Somebody else dropped off the team. He's like, you know anybody else? I'm like, Kerry, you want to go to LoveBurn? And so then fast forward, that's how we met in the airport. We met Amir, like a blind date.
Yeah, it was totally like a blind date, 100%. Yeah, I think with LoveBurn, the first experience that I had was kind of Maya in Kirtland Park, to see those founders come out and their excitement for something that I hadn't really seen people be excited for in Cleveland before, which was that large scale art in that form. Like you said, like they were like little temples. Each one had a different vibe to it, had a different feel to it. Then when I actually got to see you activated in front of Biro sales, I was like, oh, I get it now. I get what his vision is for what he wants here in Cleveland. I actually didn't even consider myself an artist, and we had a very long conversation about that at one point. Just like, yeah, if it's for artists, then I'll probably just show up and kind of hang out. But I'm not an artist. And he was like, no, you do culinary arts. You're a chef. That's culinary arts. And I'm like, yeah, but not really. I just like to cook. You know what I mean? But I think when I finally took that serious and was like, you know what? Okay, let me dive into culinary arts as a form of art. It made it even make more sense because now there's ways in LoveBurn for us to activate with food and with different things in regards to the structures that we bring. So, you know.
I think we take a step back and just talk about what LoveBurn is. So LoveBurn is a regional Burning Man event that happens outside of main Burning Man that happens in Reno, Nevada. So LoveBurn was started around 2012, 2013. And it's grown from several hundred people to now 9,000 people. So I got to know the art director probably back in like 2018. And by 2021, he saw what I was doing and he reached out. End of 2021 was end of COVID. COVID was starting to die down and the restrictions, and was like, why don't you pack up the artwork in a box? And which is like, Jolly was the size of almost like a small apartment, 23 feet by 23 feet. It's like, so we had to pack everything up, all their food, all their camping gear, packed it up in a huge pallet and then shipped it down. But you know, LoveBurn itself is this open container. You know, Burning Man ethos is they create this open template for artists and people to come in and exist how they want. And that's what probably makes that so special, right? Is that people are given the opportunity, regardless of experience level, right, to be able to come in and exist. So we got the opportunity. We got 5 tickets, $3,000. Completely messed up the freight because we were a half inch over on the pallet. So the freight ended up costing $3,000. I was like, yeah. And then 5 tickets, we gave the 5 tickets away, right, for people to come. And, off to the races we were. And it was like, I don't know where this is going to lead to. You know what I mean? And then that was pretty much the beginning. So
just to piggyback off of that, just to kind of create a visual too, we had a pallet for this structure with very little room to add our actual camping equipment. The 3 of us were flying in. Oh yeah, and we had another guy too at the time, Jeremy. We love you.
Love you, Jeremy, wherever you're at.
He's just got some other priorities in life right now, but definitely this wouldn't have happened without him either.
True.
So it's just 5 of us kind of like showing up like Survivor style. It
was crazy.
Because we literally, I brought like a tent, just like some basic necessities. And I remember Dave was like, oh, you're bringing that? Oh, you're bringing that? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I need something to sleep in. Like, I need
you guys had
chips.
you guys had the smallest tent on the planet. I mean.
Okay, let me just tell you.
Your tent was smaller than that
We
couch.
didn't pack a table. I think we had a cutting board. We had a knife.
No, we did not have a cutting board.
We didn't have a cutting
I borrowed
board.
a cutting board.
What am I telling you? Bare bones.
Hopefully,
bare bones.
I can give Watts the picture and he can put it up on that screen
Yeah.
and just kind of flash some pictures of our first year
Yeah.
in regards to how rough it was. I mean, I've been camping before. I have had some outdoor experience. But it was always.
When did you go camping?
Well, as a kid, it was always with another group that people came in and took care of all the responsible things. It was very easy for me to camp as a child because I didn't have to do anything. So with that in mind, I'm like, I'll just show up and it'll be fine. And my tent was literally 3.5 feet high, the roof of it. It was a crawl in. It was dusty because it came from Burning Man. It was Dave's Burning Man tent. It was rough, man. It was what 7-8 days. Like we were there for.
We got there for the build week, so we were there.
Monday.
I think on a Monday,
Right.
and you're allowed to, like, if you're part of the build crew, you're technically allowed to leave and come back. But we kind of all just had this mentality that like once we stepped past the gate, we were not leaving.
We're not leaving.
So
For
there
no
was no
reason.
return.
What you got is what you got. You're not leaving. And as the first kitchen that we had, it was incredible that we survived.
Little stove.
Yeah, we had
Jet boil
2-burner
system.
stove.
a 2-burner stove, the jet boil, and a cooler full of ice. Like that was pretty much how we arrived. So
Styrofoam cooler.
styrofoam cooler at that, and then.
That you guys lost and had to rebuy.
Or
We lost.
the fact that the food had started to rot by Thursday, Friday night.
Yeah.
So
It was just like, I mean, we could probably record like a 2-hour episode just on this whole experience.
yeah, it was
Just eaten alive by fire
fire
ants.
ants, yeah.
I got a couple burns from wearing those little like instant heat packs because it was so cold. It rained a lot.
It rained a
It
lot.
that
rained.
time.
It did rain.
But
Got
man, we
colder
had
one
some
day.
epic neighbors where we were at. Like it rained a lot, which we were thinking Florida, bathing suits. It's gonna
Yeah.
be hot, not much clothing.
That
But
was a struggle.
when you're wet, you're getting cold and you're hungry. It's a little miserable, but like people were helping us make some food
Yeah.
and that was really like the burner. Like I love that experience. Like we brought what we needed, but also like everyone's there to help take care of each other.
And to piggyback that, that's honestly what motivated me to continue to go. Because survival mode, a lot of people have been in survival mode, and it's like when you think it's just you versus the elements, like you're willing to go through quite some things to make sure that you survive. Like Jeremy ate raw potatoes at one point because we had ran out of fuel. So it was like coming from a moment like that, and I'm sitting there thinking about it like, man, that potato looked good right now. And then finding other burners to be like, yo, y'all, we'll help you out, give us free food. We got what we talked about, bacon at the end, or that raw bacon that I could do nothing with. But it was just the mentality that kept me there, was that there was actual communal base. Like everybody was willing to pitch in, everybody was willing to take you in, feed you.
The communal joint.
Yeah. It was a little bit of tobacco in it. Yeah. So it was just a lot of things that made me be like, okay, if this is how, I know this is a rough trip, but with a little bit more preparation and a couple more people, we could really turn this into something. So the idea of creating Midnight Art Club off of that, to me, was like a no-brainer. Like, yeah, I get to kind of be in a position where I'm not doing this by myself, which was how I felt about the art that I kind of didn't know I was doing. Was more in the construction field, working with glass and working with vinyl, working with just a lot of different things that I was doing at the time that I saw as jobs that I didn't see as art until being a part of an art community and being like, oh, well, that's vinyl that he used to wrap this, or that's, epoxy that he used to cover that. And I know these things. So I had a very good idea on how to become an artist in my mind, where I had already been an artist with my hands. So that I don't think that would have happened had I not gone through that experience.
And you're so pivotal because you feed us.
Yeah.
Like
I
he
became
keeps
the
us-
most important person in the whole camp.
He keeps
so.
us really. He keeps us like the meals are incredible.
Yeah,
that he makes.
I can't do those meals without the group, without the help of the group.
Yeah.
I mean, feeding our last LoveBurn was 44 members, correct? 42 people.
Well,
The first year we were there, it was five of us.
Five.
Second
And
year was 22.
He's like, do you know anybody else? I'm like, I think I might know some people who might be interested in this kind of thing. So a lot of people from the circus in Cleveland, a lot of Crooked River Circus members, not all of them, but and a lot of Flow people in Cleveland. A lot of friends of ours were just like, yeah, I want to go. So we went from 5 to 20.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's a huge jump for the second year. And then for the third year, we went from 20 to 40 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we doubled the size of the art installation. We went from like 23 feet to 23 feet to 40 by 40 was Palatium. And then we also got to burn Jolly, the temple. So that's why we were
were
able to
temple
bring
burn,
10
yeah.
extra people.
Yeah.
We were only supposed to go from 5 to 10. We went from 5 to 20, which was great.
It
And
really
then-
was magical how that
Yeah.
happened. I think that was, I know we've only been 3 times, but that was the best year
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was kind of that mentality of us coming together, not really sure what to expect, but like quadruple that.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, you're going to have a couple like off moments when you're with that many people for that amount of time. People get hungry, tired, whatever. But like it was pretty smooth sailing. Like everyone was working like a team, helping each other out. And it was really beautiful. We're like, it just really bonded us together, and we were excited to bring it back home to Cleveland.
Yeah, it was a really, for me, it was
How big
it
was
was
that
magical.
structure?
So Palatium was 40 feet by 40 feet. It was about 350,000 laser cut inches. So Palatium was to imagine if the Roman Empire never ended, what would have become of its architecture. And so we wanted to scale the installation in size so that we could have more room for programming, right? More room for community events. And so a lot of our friends and new friends and what would become new members, right? You guys came in and you guys programmed it like perfectly. and we ran a multitude of events. And so, and that was great because we actually ended up reaching out to a lot of the people that were your friends there at the end of like 2022, right? And
That would have been the end of 2023.
2022. 2022.
We went as five of us in 22.
22. In the end of 22, we were gearing up to go
To
for
go to
2023. That was Palatium was 2023. But
Oh yeah, okay, sorry, I misheard you.
no, it's it was incredible because once we went there in 2023 with 20 people, most of the people have never been to a Burning Man event, right? They've been to festivals, like regular
Yeah.
festivals, but a Burning Man event's different.
That's a good
because
point. Yeah,
you
talk
have
about
to
Burning Man.
bring all your supplies in, and you have to pack all your supplies out. And there's 10 principles. One of them's decommodification. And so, when you come in, you don't pay for anything. You just pay for your ticket. And then from there on out, everyone is performing a function for the community in a way. So some people are serving grilled cheese, some people are serving margaritas, some people are giving away art, like you go make a necklace, which is pretty cool. There's workshops going on
Yeah,
all
there's
day
no
long.
food vendors or
Yeah.
anything like that. So what you come, like it's really reliant on the people that come to Burning Man to make this temporary
City.
city for
City.
a little while, and it's very temporary. We come in, we do all this, we make all this chaos, build all this beauty, and then we tear it all down. But yeah, so we definitely needed a team to make that happen. And a couple other principles is like radical inclusivity, so really making sure like everybody's like playing a role in this, which kind of is what you were saying with the decommodification. It's like we're not just, they use this phrase in Burning Man, a plug and play camp, where like some people show up, make the whole thing, and then everyone just kind of gets to participate. It's like everyone in our camp, like you're hands on with
Yeah.
something. If you're not using like a power drill, you're helping to feed the people using the power drill to put the structure up, or you're helping people set up their camp or their tents. Oh shoot, I forgot my blanket. Guess what? Somebody else has got another one. Like you're helping take care of each other, and you might get that vibe a little bit at other festivals, but not like quite like Burning Man.
Yeah, there's not this level of commodization that you find at other festivals. There is no commodization.
Yeah, it's literally the doer aspect of
Yeah.
it.
Sure.
It's like a
Doers.
community of doers that come together, and whatever you do, you can do it there and have a space to do it in. And even if you're not good at it, people will be there to help you through it and help guide you through a lot of the stuff that's going on. That was the other thing that I loved about it was the just how some of the workshops worked out and things that I learned while being there, and a lot of the things that we did, not only as a group, but other things that I was able to go to, meditation circles and sound gardens, and it was just so much, like almost like sensory overload. But even when you got sensory overload, there was a place for you to go to kind of unwind and bring yourself back together to come back to. So I encourage anybody that's listening or watching, find a regional. Start with a regional, maybe a local regional. I guarantee they could use the help. If not anything, if not just to spectate, just go spectate, make sure that it's something that you're into. But I mean, they happen all.
Or come join us.
Yeah, or
Come join me in our
more
club.
importantly, come join
And that's
us.
what makes us special here at Midnight Art Club is we're a very open group here in Cleveland. We pretty much accept anyone if they want to come to LoveBurn with us. It's an open door policy. We're one of the very, very, if not maybe the only art organization that has an open door policy to take Cleveland people, right, out of state to an arts and culture event, and so they can experience something different and see arts and culture from a new perspective, and then be able to bring that experience back home so they can tell their friends and their family members, right, and try to create a more vibrant city, and that's what we saw in 2023 is the 20 of us had this amazing time, and I remember talking to you walking down the street saying, hey, there's something else here at work right now. We had so much engagement with all the team members, and I was like, well, let's come home, because we're business people, right?
Yeah.
We're business owners, and it's like, let's come home, let's make this a nonprofit, right? I already know what it's like to raise money. And I was like, let's go ahead and put some organization behind it, because we have this motivation and we have this energy. And so we spent the better part of 2023,
Yeah.
putting a nonprofit together, which was a very, a growth experience. It was a very trying experience for us as a team. And we immediately did monthly events. We were doing monthly meetups, and we were getting to know one another. And how do we put this nonprofit together, right? And on top of that, then we started to do events at the same point. So like your solstice event.
I would say like the key part of what made Midnight Art Club is the fact that we were a group of doers. This group might not be for everybody, but like it is such a vastly diversely talented group of people. Just the kind of events that we have, a lot of the things, like sometimes we've had workshops and stuff. We've just had like kind of activities and stuff going on to kind of name some of the things that go on. And we do this at LoveBurn and we do it at Cleveland. We do like an ecstatic dance. We have workshops based around like flow, different kinds of flow arts. We have a lot of musicians in the group. So we have like live music, people who are making their own electronic music, DJs. And then I love to see, those are just a few examples, but like we might have a drummer in the group who's playing to some electronic music, and the next thing you know, people are like moving, like we have some contact dance happening, maybe then with like an aerialist doing something wild. So it's just kind of like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. It's just kind of like sensory overload sometimes, but in a really beautiful way.
Yeah, it's definitely, creating this open container again, I think, as an organization, and then figuring out what exactly is our mission statement going to be, and what exactly are we trying to do here. Some days I think we're still figuring that out. We're like, what are we really doing? But I think it just comes back to, I think what's beautiful about us is how, especially with all our team members, there's probably 163 to 65 members now in our group on Facebook, Midnight Art Club. You can come join us. We have a page. We have also a private group that you can join. Midnight Art CLE on Instagram. You're going to find this on YouTube. And so it's the collection of different talents, right? And the accepting of different talents, and then to be able to feed off one another.
Kerry, do you have any? Do you see anything in the future with Midnight Art Club? Like any ideas that you were thinking of? You always have like such fun ideas. Sorry, was that what you were to say?
Gary's the quiet one over here. He's the very quiet one in the group.
I feel like he's thinking up something wild, like while we're just sitting here.
I don't know what to say about
I
that.
don't know. I didn't mean to make that weird. I was just like, oh, like
Staying
when I
true
was
to
thinking
being a
about some of the
quiet one.
events, like we have like things like family reunion games, which that's a little bit out there that you don't hear at these kinds of events. And that was an idea brought by Kerry. I don't know. You just always have these like, bring your ideas and we'll try it.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the allure for the public and any aspiring artists out there is you may not know what you're doing, and that's perfectly fine. Most of us don't. We just keep doing, and when we fail, we learn, and when we learn, we apply that to the next attempt. So I think being in a group like that, being a part of, the multitude of things that I know all of you do, and the connections that we've been able to kind of bring together, cross-pollination, as we are here at Lounge's Studio with BK Watts and doing this production. So it's just like, to me, the community is growing. And not only is it growing, but the community is working together to be able to grow. That's all I was ever looking for coming up, and why I didn't consider myself an artist, because I was like, well, who am I doing art for? Who's seeing this? It just didn't, it had no value to it until I was able to be a part of a bunch of people that say, hey, you are actually good at what you're doing. You should do it this way, or you should try different things, or you should come to this event, or what have you. So I don't know. To me, it's the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
The imagination is literally what we're working off of, and along with the business stuff that keeps us on our toes. But to me, this group has the capability of being what some people think Cleveland is missing in regards to arts and culture. And I look forward to growing that group in this way. So
Yeah, I'm not sure when this episode's going to air, but we have a really awesome Halloween fundraiser party coming up October 12th. And if you are going to be around, you should definitely get a ticket and come, because that is the best way to experience what Midnight Art Club is all about.
And it's an
all
annual
of our
event, so no
events.
matter when this happens or whenever you see it, just know in the October of the year that you see it in,
Yeah.
we're probably going to be hosting a Halloween event.
So to piggyback off of that, we just Amir has a space now that he's been letting Midnight Art Club kindly rent to have some events there. So we'll be having more there.
Yeah.
Another event you can look forward to is every year the summer solstice.
Yep.
We have a free community event that is really beautiful and it's all outside. So definitely follow us on on all the social media platforms because we post about the stuff going on.
And it is Midnight Art Club on pretty much all social media platforms.
Don't forget your solstice happens at Edgewater. We have it at
I
Edgewater.
wasn't sure if I wanted to give that clue out in case.
No, I
Maybe?
think,
No, I don't know.
no, I mean, we're at Edgewater. Come find it. Come find us every June on the solstice.
Over by the willow tree.
Over by the willow tree, open event. You know, we hope to grow it.
Yeah, this last year we had
100.
literally everything going on. It was amazing. We had juggling workshops, qigong, yoga. Then we had a huge acro jam that happened. We had an aerial rig. So people were doing lira, maybe a little bit of trapeze. I'm not sure. We had live DJs, Tori.
Slackline, right? It was
Yeah, we had a slackline
yeah,
meetup happening. There was frisbee. There was paint. We had like canvas. There was you could do a little craft where you make like a little sun catcher, which was really beautiful. We had a sound healing. We had fire spinning. It was really awesome.
Yeah, it's just the power community is so beautiful to be here with new friends and old friends and just be able to. I always wonder at times like how I got here, right? And then it's almost like God given in a way, because to be able to meet and bring everyone together and have you guys come on the journey and all come on the journey together has just been a beautiful experience. Like if the two people that were supposed to go to LoveBurn didn't drop out, we wouldn't be here, right? So there was like something God given there for them to drop out and then to reach out to you and be like, hey, do you want to go? And Amir was 50-50 in the beginning. He's like, I don't know if I want to go.
50-50 until I got on the airplane.
I was like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I was like, come on, man. You
Even
gotta,
after I bought my ticket, I was like, I can still get a refund.
and so, and it was, and it was just, I guess it was just meant to happen in a way, you know what I mean? And that's just, there's something special there, really, really special, and then just to be able to grow it, be able to come back year over year, I guess at this point, it's really crazy because we're only going to be around temporary.
Yeah.
Like we're only going to be around for, maybe 5 or 7 more years, maybe, you know what I mean? And I think once we close the book up on Midnight Art Club,
Maybe he'll be I
maybe.
think. I agree though. I think.
Expiration date. Just kidding.
Well, not in the sense of the group, but I
Yeah.
think in the sense of leadership for us all. That what I aspire for Midnight Art Club to do is grow to a point where, not to say that they don't need me anymore, but basically they don't need me anymore. That I can go on to the next thing, which is why when you mentioned the space, I bought such a large space because of growth. I want to outgrow that space. I mean, it's 50,000 square foot in Midtown called Duality Complex, but it is only activated in one area where we have 5 areas to activate. Without the help of Midnight Art Club, I don't think that I would have even considered purchasing such a large space. It wouldn't have made sense to me. What made sense to me, it was like, okay, I could bring this community from LoveBurn back home to Cleveland and actually have a space to do it in. I was like, no brainer. Let's do it. And I have hands that'll actually come in and help get this thing together. So, I mean, it was pretty ambitious, but I don't think that I would even have given it a second thought to be able to go into that realm if it wasn't for Midnight Art Club. So eventually I want to outgrow that space. I want to outgrow the city of Cleveland, honestly. I want to move on to other things. And I think that what we're providing as it's worked with Burning Man and all the regionals that they do, I still think that there might be other places in the world that needs a little Mac in their city. So 5 to 7 years, I don't know, but I definitely see growth outside of what we're currently doing.
Yeah, I think like some of the things I'd like to see Midnight Art Club do as we are growing and everything is working more with other artists and organizations who, how can we complement each other? For example, I'm going to throw a little love out to Crooked River Circus because I'd love to see us collaborate a little bit more with them. there's definitely like this spirit out there. Just there's a lot of talent, and sometimes like, it takes a lot of work. So when you can come together and have a team make that happen, it's just endless possibilities.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I think that if it's a labor of love, honestly. Even going back to cooking for LoveBurn, I don't know. I get a sense of like a certain energy when I'm like there. I'll be honest with you guys.
We got a nicer kitchen now. We got a nicer
Yeah, we got a
kitchen.
really nice kitchen. We upgrade it every year, but
yeah,
most of the time I'm cooking for me. You know what I mean? I just know I have to make enough for everybody else to eat, but that's genuinely when I'm in my craft and when I feel, best connected to creating is when I'm cooking. And a lot of people are like, "Do you need help with anything?" I'm like, "Maybe." I know I gotta let you help, but I don't necessarily think I need the help. But no, but it's also great to have help. You know what I mean? To be able to create some of the meals that we do, international food, and like really push the envelope on what we're eating on a campsite. It became like a labor of love, and everything in between that as well. Everything that we do here is like, I sometimes be like, man, I don't know what the hell I got myself into. But also I'm like, well, this is a very good community that shows up and support each other and work together and actually have commerce between each other. We often use each other's services with the business that we do have. So, I mean, to me, it was like, if you're looking for a community and you don't have one, you kind of got to build one. And that's what we did. I really appreciate you guys for being so easy to work with and cool at what we do. So everybody that's doing something, like when you guys are dancing, I'm like, man, that's so cool. I see Dave's structures. I'm like, damn, that's so cool. And now I got to make some good ass food to go with this so that, you know what I mean? It just complements each other. It literally makes me work harder to see how hard we all work for what we do.
So we're going to build a cathedral for our Nightmare on 43rd Street, October. And the big debate is we're going to put half of it outside and half of it inside. And, can we have such a large structure inside?
And we can.
So it's been a debate. And I'm like, it's going to work out. It's going to be indoors. You know what I mean? We have these hilarious chats that we have. We have a WhatsApp channel. You can always, if you want to join in our club, you get the WhatsApp link, and then you can see we're very open, transparent, but
very transparent group.
Very, very transparent, and it's full of comedy because we're going back and forth with the craziest ideas, and then there's us at the top that's like, okay, let's
tone it down a little bit, guys.
But I'm usually the one throwing out crazy ideas.
But and honestly, most
ideas.
of the crazy ideas end up happening. They end up working, and they ended up like most of them. Honestly, like I have seen some crazy stuff that I'm like, okay, guys, we're just talking crazy. But I mean, like setting up rigs inside of structures was at one point a crazy idea, and then when it actually happens, it's like, oh, that wasn't really that hard. We just had to do it. Building the last structure that we built was massive.
That was massive. It was
Took
crazy,
days
bro.
to put up in the Miami heat with all the bugs and mosquitoes, but we put it up in record time based on what we thought we were going to do and what we did do. And that's the other part about it that I love is that we challenge ourselves. We don't just accept the fact, okay, we got to put this up. We're like, okay, how fast and how effective can we put this up so that we can get the
MGK Day,
was
they
amazing.
literally
Crazy,
put it
yeah.
up in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
I
the
cannot
total
believe
build
it.
and tear down time was less than 2 hours.
Yeah, that's 2 hours.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
And that was
showed
2
up
structures.
at what, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
We started,
And we're always done before everybody else,
Yeah.
no matter what we
Yeah.
bring, no matter what we do, no matter where we go. At LoveBurn, we finish early and go help other crews. MGK Day, we kind of did the same thing. We finished early and got to meet everybody and kind of hang out. So to me, it's the amount of hands that are on deck, the amount of people that are willing to step in and say, I don't have any skin in the design. I don't have any idea what it means, but you guys, I'm a part of this community. I need to, I'm going to help where you guys need help. So
I want
that's
to
always
add
amazing.
something to what you're saying because last night Dave called me and we started talking about the layout, the design of the structure. Do you have a name for it now? Or the cathedral?
I don't have
This
a name for it.
cathedral structure that we're
Cathedral.
building for this party fundraiser. It's going to be basically a building inside of a building. And
Yeah.
I don't know, that just sat weird with me. And I found myself kind of being like, what is he thinking? This is stupid. I can't believe that went through my head. And then I was like, I'm a hater right now. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. I'm like, how can I find a way to like be on, like see Dave's vision? I'm not going to lie. I didn't see the vision. And then like this morning I woke up and I was like, I kind of see the vision. Okay, wait, actually this is awesome. And then like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right.
Oh, and that's when you
Sometimes you
came
just
to the
gotta-
group chat hot. Like, I got these ideas. I was like, Lola's on board.
I really was like, I even called one of the other people in the team. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't really understand it. We're not gonna have sun coming through these beautiful holes. I just don't know if it's anyway. I still don't really know exactly what this is gonna be like, but I'm a believer of it.
No, I saw when I saw the rendering and I got the measurements. Went to the building, kind of plotted it out in my head, and I think it's going to be amazing. I think that the reality of what we can provide, it literally makes immersive art. Like you can't actually enjoy our structures or Dave's structures without going in it, going through them, touching panels, and seeing how the light kind of goes through the laser cutting and everything. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. We can like down into it from the crane. We can like up through it. We can, like you said, put seating in it, put a dance floor in it. Like it really makes it an immersive event and that's my whole thing. I'm gonna keep saying that word. That's gonna be throughout these episodes. You're gonna hear that a lot because that is my goal: is to have activated immersive art here in Cleveland that lasts, and kind of be the staple for it, where people know that if you come to a Midnight Art Club event, this is what you expect. That it's not just going to be just a party. We don't just throw parties. I mean, we do party, but it's not just a party. It's activation, it's education, it's a lot of different things, and then we party. But to have all that information come in, get live music, have jam sessions, the art, fire spinning, all of those things coming together is like it's impossible not to feel or find something that you align with in these events. So.
Seriously, we got it all.
And he finally realized it with Sophia Lumnia at LoveBurn this past year when I was like, "Well, get the structure." It was like 2,000 square feet, and he finally realized it with the different rooms. He's like, "Oh, you could be in one room on the other side of the structure, and something else could be going in the opposite room at the other side of the structure." So now I get it. And I was like, "This has always been the vision all along."
Yeah, we had a shrine room or a crystal room with
Okay, we had a massive crystal that came came all the way from
Tucson,
Arizona to Miami, Florida. Okay, so
shout out to Aton for that.
Thank you, Aton.
Then we had a cuddle puddle room, which was full of blankets, and we had the tea cart room, which was like a conversational piece.
There was like 12 of you guys in that room, man.
The tea cart room, you guys were, and it was great because it was a bunch of questions and we were actually drinking tea, sitting on floor in different chairs, just getting to know each other, and it was total strangers in there answering these questions, and you get to realize that we're not really all that different based on how the questions were. We're all artists in a sense looking for a place to do our thing. So we had a live music room in there and then had the middle set up for acro and
we had a cacao ceremony.
Regular yoga. Yeah, cacao ceremony.
I missed everything.
It was amazing.
I stayed here
we
to go
tried
on the
to
lake
get you to
every day.
come. We try. You were.
Kerry's been busy with school.
Yeah, you've been
the
so
last-
quiet over here. You're always the quiet one.
He's quiet, but he works in the shadows.
We appreciate
That
you
makes
for
me
that.
sound weird and evil.
Okay, he works in the shadows in a sparkly way. He's coming up
even
with
worse.
these amazing ideas.
You're not making it better.
He's quiet, and then he just shows up. Bam. And with a lot of pants. A lot of pants that we all had to get in and use them for family reunion games. That's all I'm going to say about that. You just have to come to one of our things and understand what the
you got to
pants
understand
are.
what the pants thing is. You got to see it for yourself. There's no way to explain it.
Can't explain it.
And I'm proud, to highlight we're a really diverse group. I think one of what was so stellar about 2023 is we had a very diverse group of people from Cleveland. We had African American, we had Asian American, we had Hispanic American.
Yeah.
And
We got some
obviously,
Filipinos up in here.
yeah.
I'm not
So
Filipino, but
we're able to
that
take
was my
this.
Butch impression, which was terrible. Sorry, Butch.
So everyone, listen,
Let's go.
Let's
it's
go.
open door policy. Let's go. Shout out to Butch. He's the one that drives our 26-foot box truck and all the artwork.
Yep.
And
Unbelievable.
he literally gets in it at 9:00 at night and is like, "I'll see you in Miami in 18 hours."
Dude,
and I'm like, "Are
like
you gonna
a
go to bed?" And he's
nonstop
like, "No,
drive.
nonstop."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Butch is insane for that.
"Dude, it's a beast." I'm like,
There's just so much energy in this group. I'm telling you. So I think the goal with this podcast as we're moving forward is, we want to connect more with other artists that are out there. I think we want you to get to know more of the artists that are within our group as well, because separately from, it's amazing what everybody, the layers of what people do. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of time spent in Midnight Art Club, but then people are also like in a band, also making art and selling it. Like, so, there's just like a lot of independently,
Yeah, a lot of construction
a
workers.
lot of stuff going on
Yeah.
behind the scenes other than with Midnight Art Club.
Yeah. And just to, I mean, I think hear all the creative voices here in Cleveland and to give them a platform, an open platform to be able to come and sit down, open format, just tell us who you are, what you're doing, what
Yeah.
you've been up to, what the journey's been like, the ups, the
And
downs.
speaking of which, Dave, as an artist, what are you up to next? What are you doing as an individual artist?
Oh, man.
I'm gonna ask
Even
each one of y'all just so you know.
Okay, I love it.
What are we doing? Oh, man. We got the podcast going on. We're getting ready for LoveBurn, Temple of Aru. It's going to be, so we got to start laser cutting there. And that's, I mean, just really gearing up for LoveBurn and doing our event October 12th, our fundraiser October 12th. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe we do a winter event. I don't know
I
yet.
think we do, but we'll
think
talk
we
about
do.
that later.
You know what I mean?
Lola, what's up? What's next for you?
Well, currently getting ready for this Nightmare on 43rd Street party, and Kerry and I are going to be in the Ingenuity show.
Nice.
Crooked River Circus is going to be performing at Ingenuity, which, just to give them a shout out, they are a pioneer type of artist group that created a place for people to come together and celebrate the different types of art that they do, make, perform, all of that. So Crooked River Circus is going to be performing a very unique show this year. We're combining with the Tesla coil crew. They make like homemade lightning. So we are working with them to create an amazing production. So if you're going to be around, you should come check it out the last weekend of September 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Gary? How about
Yeah,
you?
same. Biggest one coming up in 2 weeks, Ingenuity. And the reason we keep bringing up Crooked River Circus, there's a lot of spillover between Midnight Art Club and Crooked River Circus. What do you say, like 80% from Crooked River Circus, maybe?
About 70, 60%. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of cross-pollination with Cricket River Circus, which I
Yeah.
fully enjoy. 'Cause
Yeah.
And that's, it's what Cleveland needs, all the cross-pollination that it can
100%.
get, which is why we're here at Lounges, right? Why we're working with, Watts on this podcast, and trying to do events around the city. You know what I mean? So we want to work with all the different art organizations.
And there's a lot of art underdogs here too.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like sometimes get a little, I know, like a lot of love, ego, all the things get put into something that like once you kind of like start getting a little bit of success with something, you almost like want to gatekeep it so hard that you're like, no, this is what I did. I can't like possibly cross pollinate because I might lose what I had, but don't think like that. Like
Yeah.
we're here to like, we want to, I mean, at least in this group, I think we all want to level each other up because
Yeah.
then we level up as a crew together.
Yeah, and we think big. So it's like a lot of the ideas that we've come up with, we've needed the hands to get it done. And that's hard to steal an idea that you can't do by yourself. You know what I mean? So, and that was the thing for me, is getting out of the comfort zone of being like, all right, I got to do it, but I'm the only one here to do it.
What are you doing next?
So for me, we mentioned the space, Duality Complex. I bought this space. It is a art-inspired warehouse space that we will be activating with Midnight Art Club. Tom Fox has mentioned about hosting some events there as well. It's open to a lot of artists in the city, much like Lounges, but on a much larger scale and more of a blank canvas for
Golden
people
Hour,
to,
is that what you're talking about?
to say it again.
Are you talking about?
Just a different event. Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to hold that same name, but within the series of what he's creating. Shout out to Tom Fox. He's amazing with what he does. But yeah, just getting Duality Complex up and running. I need as many hands as I possibly can get. It's a lot of things to do, and Midnight Art Club steps up a lot in helping with that. So yeah, we're just trying to get the kitchen installed and the food hall that we will have there for up and coming chefs and things of that matter. So
It was cool, that transformation video we posted on our Instagram. Somebody bought the boat.
yeah,
From-
I forget the guy's name, but yeah, he
love
he
that.
actually bought the boat, and we sold a lot of stuff out of there that I didn't want to just give away or throw away. It had no use to me, but it felt I don't know. It felt wrong to
Yeah.
just
So
get
things
rid
are
of
getting
it.
recycled in there.
Oh, yeah,
So more
he-
art's coming out of like what might have looked like trash
Oh
to
yeah,
somebody else.
we got a lot of stuff that is gonna transform from one man's trash to another man's treasure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that boat it sees water. It's gonna see water soon. So
That's amazing.
that was important to me to not just kind of clear out a bunch of what people perceive to be junk. We made a lot of
What was the
good.
building before you took it over?
Universal Supply. Um, it was owned by the Gillespie family.
Okay.
And unfortunately, one of them passed away and left it to his daughters. My son and the daughters were very cool from the Rocky River area, and yeah, it just kind of happened. And they gave me an amazing deal, knowing what I was getting ready to do. They've been amazing in helping me get through the process as we've had some major hiccups. So yeah, it's one of those things where I still wake up sometimes and be like, "Holy shit, I did that!" Like I really have this. This is mine now. Okay, all right. Let me go to work then. So yeah, look, it's coming soon. A landing page, Instagram, and all that stuff for Duality Complex. If you follow me on Instagram, which is Chef underscore Red on Instagram, you'll see some progress photos, some before and after stuff, event flyers from Midnight Art Club, and a host of other things that happen on that page.
And if you want to have an event there and you need some really cool art and like an
Yeah.
awesome, you build out for whatever event you
Yeah.
want to have and you want to make it really original, unique, Midnight Art Club.
Midnight Art Club.
Got you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
that's the number one run to for things to be built and to be activated. And it's you don't have to, but if you're smart, you would.
And come join us. More importantly, come join us.
More importantly, come join us.
Follow us on Instagram, Midnight Art CLE, Facebook, Midnight Art Club, and we have a website, midnightartclub.com. And reach out. We're open for business. Lastly is we got a lot of great artists lined up for the first season. Please reach out to us if you would like to be on the podcast and you are an artist here in Cleveland. It doesn't matter the genre of art that you practice, everything from music to fine art gallery to ceramics and everything in between. Performance art as well. So we're here.
Culinary artists as well. I know
Culinary
it's a lot of
artists.
culinary artists out there who don't
We're here to
like to talk, but I'm pulling y'all out because they made me talk. So you guys need to tell your stories and, define what artistry is in Cleveland through your stories and your words.
There's just way too many people to shout out. So I'm
We'd be
sorry
here all
if we
day.
did not mention something amazing that you've contributed to get us here this far. But please stick around and keep listening to this because there's really a lot of heart, soul that you're going to get from the people who are interviewing from Midnight Art Club and just.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely get to meet the rest of the crew as these episodes go on. We will change hosts regularly for the theme behind the artist and the episode. So our crew is very diverse, very entertaining, to say it in a way. But no, I think that this is the beginning of something very beautiful that we could all appreciate here in the city of Cleveland.
If you want to follow me on the Instagram, the Lola Marie, I post a lot of Midnight Art Club stuff on there and just things that are going on in Cleveland. Big believer in this city.
IG, if you want to follow me on IG, it's D_BIRO_. Let's get out of here.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, we love you.
Bye.